Hi, everybody. It's Jane from Illumini Body with our weekly hip stretch. So for this week's stretch, we're going to need a ball and a wall. And it's not really a stretch, it's more of a release, but we're going to clump all those things together, the stretch and releases. So the ball can be either, this is a pinky ball. You can look that up online, Google it, bunch will show up. You could use a tennis ball, you could use a lacrosse ball, you could use a dog toy ball, any kind of ball that's about this big and has a certain amount of density to it. So let's get started. So today we're going to work on the Tensor Fasciae Latae. This is where most people usually make a joke about a grande latte or some other kind of coffee latte. I'm not going to do that. We're just going to say tensor fasciae latae. The importance of the tensor fasciae latae, or why it should be meaningful to you, is because that is the muscle that begets the IT band. Its tendon is the IT band, which is often tight on people. That is a big tendon that runs like this, wide, all the way down your leg to here. And you can sometimes feel it. It's like pulling a little bit. A lot of people roll out their IT band. We're going to get to that later in the series, but not today. So the muscle, excuse me, the muscle that attaches to that tendon is called your tensor fasciae latae. And it's not the biggest muscle. In fact, the tendon's longer than the muscle, but working at the muscle is going to help a lot in keeping the tendon moving and not adhering to these structures down here. So first thing we're going to do is figure out where it is. So if you bring your hand to the top of your hip bone, so just think this is, your hip bone comes around here. I call it the hip bone. It's not the real name for it, but that's what we're going to call it. This is kind of the crest of it here. This is the front. You can kind of feel this point a little bit, or the part that's the most forward. And then it kind of comes up into this rounded crest and then continues back here. So we're interested in this forward part of the crest. So it crests, it comes around and down. We're going to take that top of the crest and we're going to bring our fingers right down below, inside this forward part and right below this top part. So there's kind of a lip there. You probably can't feel it, but trust me, there's a little bit of a lip. We want to put the ball right there. So the muscle kind of sits here and goes down. So we're going to put the ball right there. And if you don't get it exactly on the right spot, don't worry about it. Just make sure the top of the crest, you're right below it. See if that helps. And then we're just going to push our hip into the wall, into the ball, into the wall, right? So it may feel tight, it may not feel tight. Just kind of roll it maybe an inch back and forth and see if that changes. And if there's any tight spots, you can go down and up a little bit. I'm going to move my hand so you can see. And I'm pushing my hip into the wall. You can also do this on the floor. It's just a little bit more challenging to regulate the amount of weight that is on the ball if you're on the floor and you're just lying on the ball. But if you really can feel like that's for you, feel free to try it. Okay, so I'm just kind of rolling around a little bit here. I'm not going too far back. And I'm just going to find a spot that's tight and I'm going to hold there. And then I'm just kind of going to, again, rotate a little forward and back just to try to get that worked out a little bit. And then I'm going to move the ball down a little bit. I'm not really going to need to go further down than where my hip crease is. You can kind of see that's where my hip crease is because the muscle doesn't go too much further than that. And so you can kind of just feel, yeah, there it is. You can kind of just feel where that tightness may be and apply as much pressure as you feel is necessary and or tolerable. And don't overdo it. And you might roll over this like a bone here that feels like it sticks out. That's don't roll over it too hard because there's a lot of stuff that happens around that area. A lot of attachments. So, but try to like come inside this lip of the hip crest. This point is called your ASIS. That's also a place where a lot of things come together, muscles and tendons and such. And we're just gonna like kind of come back and forth and roll around and just try to loosen things up. Okay, spend as much time there. You don't have to spend a lot of time. It's feeling a little loosened. That's great. Okay, and then I'm going to take it off and I'll leave it to you to do the other side. You want to make sure that they're both in good shape. And then I would encourage you to move. So we don't want to loosen these up only to have us go back to just sitting down. Take a walk, maybe do some squats, something that uses this muscle. It flexes the hip, so try to do some hip bending, hip flexion, lunges, squats, any of that stuff would be great. All right, thanks. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can do it via YouTube or on my site, which is linked through this video. And have a great day, and I hope you have happy hips. Thanks.